Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. I very warmly welcome all participants. We are starting a new chapter today on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We call it as Jnana Yoga, the fourth chapter. So we will start as usual with the Mangalacharanam prayers. I humbly request all of you to join. If you have not learned it yet, please try to learn. These are all, as I have already discussed, these are ways to show Krishna that we are serious. Actually, Krishna is watching. Can you believe this? That we are all sitting here together online and we are learning Bhagavad Gita, which was actually spoken by him. Krishna is watching and he is watching very happily. That my children are now showing interest in the message what I wanted to convey. It was meant for all of us. So when we are actually paying attention, it becomes very happy. Just imagine a doting father or a mother. When the child is not listening to their advice, the father and mother feel very bad, but the child doesn't care. But when the child becomes a little attentive and asks father, mother, oh, I want your advice, please tell me how I should live, then they become actually very happy. And they are in a great position to help the child. And the child sincerely wants advice. So that is where we are. We are extremely pleasing to Krishna at this very moment. So let us show our sincerity, seriousness by learning things quickly and sincerely practicing them. So that way we'll make Krishna very happy. And when Krishna is happy, we will feel it in our heart because Krishna is sitting in our heart. So happy Krishna means happy heart. We will become happy, as simple as that. So let us start with Mangalacharanam prayers. Om Adhyanatinirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuda Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Sri Jagannatha Ite Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once again, I warmly welcome all of you for this session on what is called Jnana Yoga. We have graduated from Karma Yoga. We are moving on to Jnana Yoga. Actually, this is a theory class. So, Bhagavad Gita is a theory come practice. Theory and practice of devotion. That is what Bhagavad Gita is. So, we have to simultaneously move with the practice. Sometimes I see people, they switch on religiously TV in the morning and they put on Ram Baba Yoga. And Ram Baba is on the screen and he is flanked by two other devotees and they're all doing various exercises on the screen, and Ram Baba is constantly talking while he's also doing some exercise. And people are simply sitting in front of him and watching in front of the TV and watching, and after about 15-20 minutes they feel, okay, I have started the morning very nicely. But as long as we don't practice, we will not get the same kind of fitness that what Baba is having or his followers having. So that amount of seriousness I request all of you to have. Somewhere we have to make a beginning. Okay, somebody may do 10 push-ups, somebody may do 5 push-ups, somebody may do a single push-up, but still all of us are trying and all of us are making progress. In that sense, keep it in your mind that this is not a mere theory class. We need to have practice. We have just gone through Gaura Purnima. I hope all of you remembered. Last Friday was the birthday of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are seeing here in the screen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here on our right, and on our left we are seeing Nityananda Prabhu. They are Krishna and Balaram who appeared in the Kali Yuga to give this message of the holy name, to teach us to do Kirtan and Japa, and by that reach Krishna. They taught us that Krishna is the entire creation and Krishna is the entire spiritual world. And so Krishna, all his powers, all his strength, everything he has invested in his name. So in the name of Krishna, you have everything. So why we are not feeling it now is because of the contamination in our heart. So the sound of the name of Krishna is a spiritual sound. And this sound contains the entire creation and the entire Vaikuntha creation. Vaikuntha is actually not created. Vaikuntha is eternal. Just as Krishna is eternal, Vaikuntha is eternal. The whole thing exists in the holy name. If you regularly keep on chanting the holy name, the name will reveal all these things to you by and by. You have to practice sincerely with the dedication, with the devotion to chant the holy name, and everything will be revealed to us. So that is the message that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu have brought for us. And let us offer our gratitude to Lord Krishna and Arjuna. These are the two people who brought the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita for us. Sarvopanishado gavo dogda gopala nandanaha partho vatsa sudhir gopta dugdam gita amritam mahat. So this is meant for all of us, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So we are into the fourth chapter. So without taking more time, let us start. Or maybe before that, we will have a few question answers. Can somebody explain to me what is Sakama Karma Yoga? You can post it in the chat, or you can tell me by raising your hands. I will ask you to unmute and tell me. What is Sakama Karma Yoga? Anyone can begin. If you are wrong also, nothing wrong with that. We are all learners.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, yeah, please.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I don't know if I'm right, Prabhuji, but Sakama Karma Yoga is doing the karma as per the rules, but not entirely leaving the fruits of the action to Krishna, or not, or rather expecting, with expectation of some fruits of the action or return.
Very good. Thank you.
Not totally surrendering the fruits to
Perfect. Perfect. So Kanikumar Ghosh Prabhu confirms, he writes karma with kama. So Sakama. Sa means along with kama. You want to enjoy the fruits of your action, so you are performing action. But at the same time, as Mataji said, you are doing the prescribed duty for that. You are not whimsically doing something which is not permitted. You are not doing some prohibited action. You are doing some permitted action as per the scripture, which is prescribed for achieving a particular result. So Sakama karma is considered inferior, but it is even better than whimsical action. Whimsical action, prohibited action, these should not be done. But you are following the Vedic scriptures where it says, do this particular puja, do this particular vrata, do this particular kind of charity, go to this particular holy place, worship this particular deity for getting this benefit. You want wealth, you want education, you want beauty, you want to have a nice spouse, you want to have long life, you want to have a healthy life, for all these things. So, sakama karma. This is a slow process. Imagine a time when all your desires are satisfied and you become liberated. That is the way it is. Thank you. So, what is Nishkama Karma Yoga? I want someone else to answer. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Chalrela, want to answer? Alamelu Sundaramaya. Mute content. You don't want to say something? Anybody wants to answer this question? Nishkama Karma Yoga? Yes, Tapas Kumar Rai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I personally feel that you have to do your duty.
I'm sorry, you are not very clear. Can you? I don't hear you.
You have to be absolutely clear in your mind that while doing duty, you don't expect any results. You don't have to everything.
Yes, that is a perfect answer. So, Sakama, Nishkama. In both the cases, you are doing. Prabhuji, I am muting you. Thank you. So that's a perfect answer. In Sakama, also you are doing your prescribed duty. Nishkama, also you are doing prescribed duty. So there is no difference there. But in Sakama, you want to enjoy the fruits, which Gita describes as kripana. If you want to enjoy the fruits of your actions, your duties, then you are called kripana. Kripana means myself. I want to enjoy. But Nishkama means you are doing your duty, but you don't want to enjoy the fruits. That's called Nishkama. So that's a higher process. So both the cases, duty is done. But in one case, attachment to result. In other case, attachment to result is not there. Just performing it as a matter of duty. So Sumi Ravi Mataji has given an answer where she has gone one step higher. So that would be, what would be the difference between Nishkamya Karma and devotional service? In devotional service, of course, there are many steps. So, Karma Yoga in devotion, what would that be? Can somebody answer? We saw Sakama Karma, we saw Nishkama Karma. Yes, Sujit Jana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
I think that when you do the service, do the prescribed duty, and
Yes.
Krishna, and offer the results to Krishna. That
Yes. Perfect. So Nishkama Karma, you are simply surrendering to who you don't know. You don't want the fruits because you want to attain mukti. You want to become liberated. So your only desire is to become free. So you are doing Nishkama Karma, and that will lead you to jnana. Nishkamya Karma will lead you to jnana. But when you offer the fruits to Krishna, that leads you to bhakti. That leads you to bhakti. So this is Karma Yoga in devotion. Karma Yoga in devotion. So this way, The same prescribed duty you can be doing at 3 different levels. With desire to enjoy the fruit, without desire to enjoy the fruit, offering the fruit to Krishna. So like this we have seen. So this karma yoga by itself, it leads you to jnana yoga. Jnana yoga means where you realize that I am not the body, I am a spirit soul. So why should I do anything for my body at all? Let me. That's called what we discussed in second chapter as Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga, where we are understanding that I am higher than the body, higher than the senses, higher than the mind, higher than the intelligence. I am a spirit soul. So at that level of consciousness, you are in a position to aspire for something higher. So Karma Yoga will lead you to Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga will lead you to liberation. But Jnana Yoga, if you attach it to Bhakti Yoga, then it will take you to Krishna. So today we are going to Jnana Yoga, which is the step higher to Karma Yoga, what we have discussed so far. So that is called Jnana Yoga, transcendental knowledge, purification through knowledge. Can somebody answer what is this purification business? What do we mean by this? Hare Krishna. Yes, Mohandas Prabhu.
Yes, purification means, Prabhu, that is making the body spiritualized. Krishna is the body.
Yes.
That is the purification.
Yes.
The entire body is being purified.
Yes.
Krishna is all spiritualized body.
Yes. Yes. So basically, we are spirit souls. We are pure consciousness, just like Krishna. Qualitatively, we are like Krishna as spirit souls, but we have become contaminated by material senses, material mind, material intelligence, and material body. So, as Mohandas Prabhu said, when you spiritualize all this, because the soul is spirit, so we need spiritual senses, spiritual mind, spiritual intelligence, spiritual body. So that is the process of purification. But actually, it is split into 2 parts. In Jnana Yoga, you are purifying, but you are not spiritualizing. Purifying means one by one, like a rocket launching to the moon. The first stage of the rocket falls down, second stage falls down, third stage falls down. Then the final orbiting module separates and it starts going around the moon. Like that, all these things we will shed. And ultimately, what will be left? The soul will be left. But spiritual senses, spiritual body, and all that, how do we get? That we will come to know in due course of time. Yes. So it's not exactly getting spiritualized at this stage. We are getting rid of all these things. From our consciousness, we get rid of the material aspects of our existence. Okay. So let us open the book and start with Shloka 1. Transcendental knowledge. Text 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivaspate Yogam Roktavanaham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manurikshvaka De Bravit. So now we come to know, we always thought that Krishna taught Gita to Arjuna. That happened about 5,000 years ago. It's true. But the knowledge of Gita is not new. Not that until Krishna spoke to Arjuna, Gita did not exist. That is the wrong understanding, because in this materialistic world, we understand everything like this. What is the beginning of something? What is the end of something? What is the duration of something? We measure everything in terms of time. But here Krishna is telling, Gita is not something new. Gita is as old as time, because it is knowledge coming from Krishna. It's not some new knowledge Krishna has fabricated. Knowledge always exists with Krishna. So Gita knowledge is always existing with Krishna. But did Krishna only give it 5,000 years ago? No. Krishna is going to say all these things. So Krishna is saying Gita is as old as time. It's imperishable knowledge originating from Lord Krishna. Knowledge exists with Krishna. If you see Bible, if you see the Genesis, the first chapter of Old Testament, it says, in the beginning, Word was with, in the beginning there was God. God. Word was with God, W-O-R-D. Word was with God. Word was God. So the word refers to the spiritual vibratory knowledge. That is knowledge actually. The vibration is knowledge. The expansion, that's knowledge. So where did it come from? It was always existing with God. And it is God. That's what we are saying. Shakti and Shaktiman. God along with his various Shaktis is one. God is not different, Shakti is not different. God along with his Shakti, he is called Shaktiman. So the knowledge is ever existing with Krishna. And it has come down in unbroken Guru Sishya Parampara system. It is coming down. So saintly kings received it. Saintly kings. First, Krishna is saying, Vivasvate Yogam. I gave it to Vivaswan. Who is Vivaswan? The sun god. Sun god is Vivaswan. So Krishna says, I give it to the sun god. Actually, we will maybe learn more details in future classes because we have a limited time. Vivaswan is a person. He is the god of the sun now. The sun god now is called Vivaswan. There are 11 Adityas are there. Dwadasa Adityas, 12 Adityas are there. Out of that, Vivaswan is the ruling Aditya now, the sun. So that sun god was educated by Krishna into this knowledge. And Vivaswan had a son, the sun god. Who is that? Manu. Manu is the father of mankind. So Vivaswan gave this knowledge to Manu and he said, Manu is a king. So Vivaswan gives it to Manu and says, you being the ruler of men, you implement this knowledge. You learn this and you implement and make sure that the population will follow this knowledge. What is this knowledge? Nishkamya Karma Yoga. That knowledge you make people practice so that gradually they will become purified. Their knowledge will become purified. So whose duty it is to implement? The kings. And what kind of kings? Saintly kings. Raja Rishis there. Raja and Rishi combined. Raja is a Kshatriya. Rishi is Brahmana. No, he has the highest knowledge. So Raja Rishi is a combination of Kshatriya Brahmana. They have those highest qualities. So Krishna gives the knowledge to them. And they not only practice, and also make sure that everybody will practice because they are also Kshatriyas, they are rulers. So this is how it happens. So from sun god Vivaswan to Manu, the father of mankind, then to Ikshvaku. Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. Who is Ikshvaku? He is the ancestor of Lord Ram. So like this, it has been coming down in Parampara system. This is what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Arjuna and Krishna are of the same age and they are talking. But Krishna is giving all this information. Second shloka. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashtaparantapa. This supreme science was received through chain of disciplic succession from guru to disciple. That disciple becomes the guru of his disciple. That disciple again becomes guru of his disciple. Like that the knowledge is going. But don't think that this knowledge is something like our in the school we learned from our professors and lecturers. They had a textbook, from the textbook they taught, and we also had a textbook we learned from the. Then we wrote some exam and we passed, and they said, okay, you have got this knowledge. Then we go to a higher class, you have another book to learn, write some exam. This is not like that. This succession is you receive it, you internalize it, you take it into your heart, and you start practicing it perfectly. Then you are called Acharya. Achar. Achar means practicing, not just talking, not just empty talk. The guru is a practitioner. He's practicing. He's not simply teaching, don't smoke, and he goes outside and smokes. Don't cheat, and he goes outside and cheats. Don't have illicit relations with women, but he goes and does the very same thing with his disciples. So no, such people, we don't touch them with a barge pole. They are very dangerous people. They are snakes. People who preach, but they don't practice. They cannot start a parampara. And if they happen to enter into a parampara, the parampara breaks. Whoever takes the knowledge from them gets no benefit. So please understand, this disciplic succession is not a joke. that, okay, I studied in that college, then I became a professor in the same college and I started teaching others. It's not like that. This is not something you learn in that sitting in a table and listening to somebody talking to you. No, this is knowledge which is transferred from heart to heart. Transformation, not information. Transformation. This kind of parampara system, the knowledge is passed on. But Krishna says, Sakale neha mahata, because a lot of time has passed, this knowledge has been lost. Not that Gita is lost, that is very much there, but the people have forgotten. By the passage of time, this knowledge has been lost to the people who are practicing it. And then what happens? So when the kings have lost this knowledge, the society loses this knowledge. Society loses this knowledge. And as we have already discussed, karma means it comes from varnashrama. The duty is based on varna and ashrama. That is where the karma starts. So the varna ashrama system was implemented by the kings because they had the knowledge of nishkamya karma. So they would engage people in sakama karma where they cannot come to the level of nishkama karma. But gradually by doing sakama karma, they will rise to the level of nishkama karma. And those who are in the nishkama karma, they will start doing it in the spirit of devotion to Krishna. And then they will become pure devotees of Krishna. There is no duty beyond that. After that, only serving for the pleasure of Krishna. These things will come to by and by. So the society is moving forward. The Shudra becomes a good Shudra. Then he becomes a Vaishya. Then he becomes a good Vaishya. Then becomes Kshatriya. Then becomes a good Vaishya, Kshatriya. Then he becomes Brahmana. Then he becomes a good Brahmana. Then he goes beyond. This is the kind of system that was there. But the science has disappeared. That's what Krishna is saying. So science disappeared from the minds of people. It's very much existing. That we should always know. The knowledge always exists. It cannot be destroyed because pure knowledge is truth, absolute truth. Truth is never destroyed. Falsehood comes and goes, but truth is not destroyed. Sun always remains. Clouds come and go. Clouds don't cover the sun actually. Did you think that the clouds cover the sun? No. Clouds are too small to cover the sun. Clouds only cover our vision. Our vision only gets covered. But clouds don't cover the sun. Same way the knowledge is always existing, but the knowledge is covered in our eyes because our contamination. So the contamination has to be removed. That's why Krishna is coming down. Okay. So third shloka. Sayevayam maya tedhya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. So Krishna says, I am now restarting that parampara system. What has been lost, I am restarting through you. The system of parampara I established through Sun God, it has become weakened, broken. The succession is broken. I am going to start another parampara with you, Arjun. So, why you are choosing me? What is the answer? So Krishna is giving. What are his qualifications? He is Krishna's devotee. So the qualification for getting this knowledge is, Krishna is saying, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. So he's a devotee, but he has a special relationship with Krishna as a friend. Not just a worshipper of Krishna. Yes, he is a worshipper of Krishna. But at the same time, he has an intimate relationship with Krishna as a devotee. He is completely free from envy, in pure relationship. So he is qualified to understand the mystery of this science. So that is why Krishna, not that Krishna says, oh, you are my friend, I will give you a favor. Somebody is not my friend, I will not give favor. Not like that. This is the only way you can receive it. If a person envious of Krishna is given this knowledge, he will not understand. He will misunderstand and he will not practice it. So such envious people are kept out for their own good. So Krishna says, because you are my devotee and my friend, I am initiating this parampara again through you. So this is a nice picture you are seeing where Krishna is trying to kill Bhishma and Arjuna, and because Arjuna is not able to kill Bhishma, Krishna himself jumps out of the chariot, even though he promised that I will not lift a weapon. But still, to protect Arjuna, he is jumping from the chariot and he is rushing towards Bhishma. And what Bhishma is doing? Bhishma is dropping his bow. Bhishma is dropping all his weapons and he is just telling Krishna, yes, Krishna, please come and kill me. I was only waiting for this. So actually, both Arjuna and Bhishma are wonderful devotees of Krishna. Bhishma made a challenge in the previous day to Duryodhan that either I will kill all the Pandavas tomorrow. Nobody can stop me except Krishna. Bhishma made a vow like that. Nobody can stop me. I will kill all the Pandavas unless Krishna comes to rescue them. Unless Krishna lifts a weapon, I will kill. So Bhishma's promise was, I will make Krishna raise a weapon. Even though Bhishma knew that Krishna has promised he will not raise a weapon. So here is the one promise of God and the promise of devotee. So which one God will fulfill? So very interestingly, Krishna chooses to break his own promise, his own vow, to fulfill the vow of Bhishma. And Bhishma becomes so happy, so grateful. Tears are flowing down his eyes, and he's saying, "Oh Krishna, you broke your own promise for the sake of your devotee." So that is the scene what you are seeing here. Those of you who read Vishnu Sahasranam, just in the last shloka, Vishnu Sahasranam, you get this shloka, this nama, Rathangapadi Rakshobhya. Rathangapadi, that's the name of Krishna. He got this because of this particular pastime. For the sake of Arjuna, he did not lift a weapon. He simply lifted a chariot wheel as a weapon. So in one sense, he broke, but he did not break because he simply lifted a chariot wheel. It's not a weapon, but he lifted it. But so he fulfilled the vow of Bhishma Dev. So that is why I picked up this picture. So Arjuna is such a friend of Krishna. To protect Arjuna, he lifts a weapon. So that is his qualification for learning Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So now Arjuna is asking a question immediately. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah katham etat vijaniyam tvamadav proktavaniti. Arjuna said, Sun God Vivaswan is senior to you by birth. Sun God is how old? And you are only as old as me. How can I understand that you instructed this science to him? So fair enough, whatever questions can come in our mind, Arjuna is asking. You are as young as me. How you are saying that you taught the Sun God all these things? How can I believe you? But please understand, Arjuna is raising this doubt on our behalf. Arjuna has no doubt that Krishna is God. Please remember that. Why I am saying this is, there is a way to ask doubts. This rule, if you break, you will never get the knowledge. You may get the answer, but you will not understand the answer. Or you may not get the answer only because the teacher knows you will not understand. You will not get the answer also. Or if he kindly gives the answer, you will not understand. So what is the way to ask the question? You have to ask the question humbly, in a spirit of humility. Why humility? I know that you know the answer, but I don't know the answer. I don't even know whether I have the quality to understand the answer, but I am begging you, please teach me. I am getting this doubt. Please clarify. Supposing you say to your teacher, I don't think you also know the answer, or you will give me the wrong answer. I will challenge you with this question. So if you ask a question challengingly, then the knowledge will not come. This is a rule in spiritual science. If you want to progress spiritually, this is a mood you should adopt towards your guru. You can ask 1,000 questions, but it should be with humility. You should accept the scriptures. You should accept the guru who is coming in the parampara, and you should accept the knowledge that is giving to you. With this acceptance, humble acceptance, you will be able to gain the knowledge, not otherwise. So Arjuna is asking this question with humility. Don't think he is challenging Krishna. That's an important thing to remember. Fifth shloka. Shri Bhagavan uvacha bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tani aham veda sarvani natvam vetha parantapa. So in the previous, I did not discuss the pastime with you. So this is a pastime when Krishna was just a small baby. He had just turned over. He was lying flat and he was turned over. And for that, they were having a nice celebration. At that time, Mother Yashoda was very busy. So she made Krishna sleep under one big wheel with cart. Under the cart, she made him sleep. Krishna was very tired. He was sleeping and she left that place. And immediately, one ghost entered the cart with the intention to kill Krishna. But Krishna suddenly opened his eyes and he saw mother was not there. And immediately he started kicking his tiny feet and crying. All his friends were watching. He was just shaking his tiny feet, rose like very soft feet. But then the cart crashed and the demon died. And the cart became pieces. But Krishna did not change his form. He did not become very big or huge. Same tiny baby. Never did Krishna change his form for all these pastimes. In the same tiny baby form, he destroyed this chariot. What we have to learn from this is sometimes people say, you are God, I am God, I will teach you meditation. By practicing this meditation, you will realize that you are God. You are now in Maya. The Maya will go like that. But Krishna is not like that. He did not become powerful by his meditation or tapasya, right? He was born like that. Why? Because he is God. Actually, he was not born, right? He's appearing as though he's born, and he did not acquire his powers by some meditation and some austerity. He is God. So we have to understand the difference between God and ordinary living entities like us. So that point we should remember. We should never think, oh, I am also Krishna. We will never be Krishna. We are all Krishnas, apostrophe S. We belong to Krishna. We are all his children. So in this shloka, Krishna is telling, Arjun, you and I have taken many births. You have forgotten, but I am remembering. Why? That answer will come. So very clearly, Arjuna has also taken many births. Krishna has also taken many births. Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna. Every time Krishna comes, Arjuna comes. But Arjuna forgets. He is a soul, ordinary jiva. He forgets. But he is a pure devotee. He is under Krishna's protection. Krishna gives him memory when he wants. Krishna gives him forgetfulness when he wants. So Arjuna has also been incarnating, but he has forgotten. But Krishna is remembering everything. So Krishna knows last time when he spoke to Vivaswan. Krishna also knows at that time Arjuna was also present, but Arjuna has forgotten. So this is important for us to know the difference between God and the soul. Very important, because today there is a lot of propaganda that there is no God. One kind of propaganda. Second kind of propaganda is we are all God. There is one God only, and we are all one. By illusion, we are thinking we are all separate. So many people. They give the example of the gas burner. Gas burner. You have a burner on top, which contains small holes. Then you see small flames. When you light the stove, small flames. But you remove the top, then you see only one flame is below. So they give that example. They say, this one flame only is burning. There are not so many tiny flames. That is only illusion. If you remove the illusion, one flame. They say, so we are all God. So all the forms are temporary, Maya. But there is only one light, and we are all part of that light. That is wrong. That is wrong. The souls are eternal. Krishna is eternal. The souls are eternally the servants of Krishna. The souls eternally exist to give pleasure to Krishna. And Krishna eternally exists to give pleasure to the souls. So this is the relationship that we should build with Krishna. And here we are seeing Vasudeva taking Krishna to Gokul from the prison. From the prison in Mathura, when the Krishna is born, he is carrying Krishna to Gokul, crossing the Yamuna, which is in spate, and Adisesh is giving protection from the pouring rains. So we'll go to 6th shloka. Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Now Krishna explained why he does not forget and why Arjuna is forgetting. He says, I am unborn and my body is transcendental and it never deteriorates, it never becomes old, diseased and dies. My body never undergoes all these changes. Although I am the Lord of all living entities, so he is the Lord of all Jivatmas. We are all Jivatmas. He is the Lord of all the Jivatmas. He is also an Atma, but he is a Paramatma. We are all Jivatma. He is Paramatma. Just like us, he is a person. We are persons, he is also a person. But the difference is, he is a Paramatma. And he appears in every yuga by his own energy. by you in his original transcendental form. So when you see Krishna like a baby, you should not immediately imagine a human baby. He's appearing like a human, but he's not human. We have to take it deeply into our heart. How to get it deeply into our heart? With devotion only. Otherwise, you cannot understand. Someone who has no devotion will never understand. Someone who has no faith in the scriptures will never understand. So, what is very important for us to cultivate the mood? And so, while listening to Bhagavad Gita, you always pray to Krishna, please, Krishna, let me understand. Please, Krishna, let me understand in such a way that I can practice this knowledge, that I can implement this knowledge in my life, that I may never forget you, Krishna, in all my life. With that prayer, we should listen. So, Krishna is saying, I am unborn. And when Krishna takes birth, that is not a physical birth. Krishna comes in this transcendental form only, but he can make it appear like a human form. It is not a human form, it is a human like form. You can relate with him like a human being, and he will also relate with you as a human being, but he is not a human being. Guda kapata manusha. Bhagavatam would say, Guda kapata manusha. Balaram and Krishna, they appear covered like human beings, but they are not actually human beings. So he says, my body is transcendental. So I don't undergo a change. Unlike in the case of soul, our soul, what happens when we die, we leave our body. And then we go and enter into the womb of another mother. And then she gives us a body. And with that body, we are born. So when we are born, we forget our previous body. We think, this is me, this body is me. So every time we change our body, we forget. But Krishna doesn't change his body. He's the same transcendental person always. We are spirit soul covered by a material body. But Krishna is spirit soul, spirit body, everything. There's no body soul distinction in Krishna. He is the same person. So he appears in every yuga by his sweet will. Nobody is forcing him. His karma is not forcing him. His desires are not forcing him. He is willingly appearing for pastimes, for Leela. He will explain that now. He will explain why he appears. Let us see that. 4.7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So Krishna says, where he takes birth. So whenever there is decline in religion, so religion means what? To understand that we are all eternally servants of Krishna and to serve him. That is true religion. But if that religion is not there, then at least Varnashrama Dharma should prevail. Because in Varnashrama Dharma, we have the Varna and Ashrama, and all the souls are making steady progress towards true religion of worshipping Krishna. But until they reach that stage, they will gradually progress, because the king is a Raja Rishi. He will guide them in the correct path. So let us understand why we are changing our government so many times, but our life is not changing. Because the kings must be Raja Rishis. Whether they are chief minister or prime minister or president, they must be Raja Rishi. They should know the knowledge of Gita, and they should be devotees of Krishna, and they should come in the parampara system. They can only make this world happy. We are only looking at economic development. But what can economic development do? Just by becoming wealthy, will I become happy? Will I conquer death? Will I conquer old age? Will I conquer disease? Nothing. Money can do really nothing for us. But we never become satisfied that I have enough money. We want always more. When we have more money, we want even more. So it's a disease. The more I accumulate, the disease becomes more serious. But ultimately, what is important is religion. Only religion can make people happy. But don't think this. What goes in the name of religion today is religion. No. Neither Hinduism, nor Islam, nor Christianity is true religion today. Because the essence is gone. If you take the essence, all religions will become one actually. There won't be many religions. Essence is the one. But because every religion has lost the essence, we see so many religions. Actually, there are not so many religions. Because the purpose of religion is what? To connect the soul to God. So in that sense, all religions will become one. So because Krishna has created this material world to bring the lost souls back to him, that is the purpose for which this creation is there. The souls that separated from Krishna and they did not want Krishna, he has created this arrangement, material world, in a way that slowly they can become purified of the hatred of Krishna and then they can come back to him. That is why he has created. So whenever the religious practices are lost, then what will happen? Krishna becomes worried. No, they are going in the wrong path. So Krishna appears. Krishna appears to bring back religion, and to destroy irreligion. So he further explains in the next shloka. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Krishna gives the reasons why he appears in every yuga to save the pious people. That means people who are following dharma. He wants to save them, who are on the proper path. What the Lord has given in the scriptures, they are following that. So to save them, to destroy the wicked, because the wicked people are always giving trouble to the pious people. So he wants to destroy the wicked people, the asuras, the demons, the rakshasas. He wants to destroy them and to re-establish religious principles. So again, you have to understand there are two kinds of religious principles. One is direct devotion to Krishna, which is done by Krishna's devotees. And there is a process for those who will not directly worship Krishna. For them, the process is Sakama karma, Nishkamya karma, Jnana yoga, like that they will go. Eventually, they will go to either liberation or they will come to bhakti. So, one path is direct path that will take you back to Krishna. Anybody can take up this process of bhakti to Krishna. So, that is the ultimate religious principle, to serve Krishna in the mood of a servant. But those people who are not able to accept that path, for them, Krishna has given a slightly circuitous path. You start first following the scripture. Please understand, all living entities are born into this material creation in 84 lakh species. 84 lakh species. Out of these 84 lakh species, we also have human species. But as species, they are all animals only. Material forms, they are all animals. But there is one difference between human species and animal species. Animal or insects and plants, vegetation, everything put together 84 lakh. But human species is special because you remember the last session, we saw fire and smoke. In the human form, the knowledge is very little covered. Very quickly, we can make the knowledge come out. The ignorance can be removed very easily. Fire and smoke. If you just fan the fire, smoke will go away, fire will burn. In a similar way, as human beings, we all have self-consciousness. We know I exist. I say, I am awake now. Then when I wake up from sleep, I say, yes, I slept well. Or I say, I had dreams. So whether we are awake or we are sleeping or we are dreaming, our consciousness is always there, self-consciousness. This is a unique characteristic of human beings. So using this consciousness, we can rise above the bodily connection. And we can realize that we are spirit souls, and we can realize that we are all servants of God. So because this facility is there, human form is very, very special. So for the human beings, as I said, two kinds of paths are there. One is directly to perform devotion and go back to Krishna. In this one lifetime, we can go back to Krishna. Never to come back to this material world, take rebirth again and again, birth, old age, disease, death, birth, old age, disease, death. No, one time. But those people who still have strong envy of Krishna, who are still strongly covered by ignorance, Krishna gives this path of Varnashrama Dharma. So without Varnashrama Dharma, you cannot identify your true nature, whether I am a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You will not know your true nature. And you have to work according to your nature and then slowly give up the attachment to the results of your actions. And eventually, you will become purified of bodily consciousness. You will realize I am a spirit soul. So these are the two paths that Krishna has given. So when he comes, he destroys the wicked he saves the pious and re-establishes this varnashrama path and the devotional path. Depending on the nature of the person, they will pick up one of these. But devotion is ideal. And for Kali Yuga, if anybody takes up this varnashrama, it is not there in only. Varnashrama is simply not there. It has been destroyed. So how can anybody practice varnashrama? So for Kali Yuga, Nama Sankirtan is the prescribed path. Simply by doing bhakti through chanting the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we can all go back to Krishna. So this is the message that 8th shloka gives. We will go to the 9th shloka. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. So Krishna is teaching how easily we can avoid rebirth. We thought it is so difficult to avoid rebirth because we have so much of karma. Whatever karma we have, whatever vasana we have, whatever desires we have, whatever sin we have done in the past, for that we have to take rebirth. We cannot avoid. But Krishna is saying so easy. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not take birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So here you are seeing Yashoda Ma, she is carrying Krishna as a baby. Yashoda is actually a perfected soul. She is always in the spiritual world, but it is a Jivatma like us. But she has risen to the level of Krishna's mother. But doesn't mean that Krishna was born through Yashoda. No, Krishna is God, Supreme God, and all the Jivatmas have expanded from Krishna. But Krishna allows the Jivatma to experience relationship with him as they want, as they desire. So this Jiva wanted Krishna as a child. So Krishna has agreed to become her child. She is so pure, her only desire is to serve God as a child. So he accepted her as mother. Not that she is his mother, but he accepts her as mother. And when he accepts her as mother, he perfectly behaves like her baby. He doesn't show that, oh, I am God, because of your prayer I have come as your baby. No, then the relationship is spoiled. So this is a pure mother-child relationship between Yashoda and Lord Krishna because of her prayers, pure prayers. As a pure soul, she has prayed to the Lord. So Krishna has taken birth as her child. So Krishna is saying, if you understand that I am not a human child, I am eternally the Supreme Lord, but I appear to take birth in this material world by my own sweet will, and my body is not material. There is no distinction of body and soul in me. In the case of all living entities in this material world, there is distinction of deha and dehi. Like a dress that a person is wearing, or a car and a driver. The distinction is there for all of us. But for Krishna, there is no soul in this body. This whole Krishna is Satchitananda Vigraha. There is no soul, Satchitananda soul inside him. Entire Krishna is Satchitananda Vigraha. So that we should understand. Same way, his activities are not material activities, transcendental activities. We'll discuss that in future classes. But Krishna is saying, just by understanding me, you will not take rebirth again. So Prabhupada is saying, we have to take it deeply into our heart, this knowledge. It is not like licking a bottle from outside. The bottle contains honey. Just by licking the bottle, I will not get the taste. By accepting Krishna as a Supreme Lord, you will come out of ignorance. And then you will be able to taste the message of Bhagavad Gita, what the Lord is trying to give. So we have to accept this principle, what Krishna is teaching, as it is. Right? By knowing Krishna, you will know as a spirit soul, I am like Krishna. I have the same qualities of Krishna. I am also unborn. The soul is unborn. My body is born. But because I am attached to the body, I am thinking I am born. But actually I am also not born. I am also like Krishna. But Krishna never falls into illusion. But I fall into illusion. So that is the difference we need to understand. 11th shloka. Very, very important shloka. Please try and memorize. Ye yata mam prapadyante tamsta taiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manushya bharta sarvasah. So Krishna is teaching us, as all surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Very amazing statement. It will take a long time to discuss, but this subject matter will be discussing throughout Bhagavad Gita and in future. So I will just give you a brief hint about this and we'll move on. So Krishna says, sorry, I think I missed the 10th shloka. Yeah, I'll go back to 10th shloka. 10th shloka is also very important. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah bahavo jnana tapasa bhuta madbhava bhavam agataah. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So Krishna is saying, in the past, many people understood me like this, that I am a transcendental person. I am not a human being. I am a human-like form, but I am not actually human. I am the spiritual Lord. I am the master of all the souls. By understanding that, they have all come back to me. So Arjuna, by accepting this principle of my true nature, you can also come back to me. So Krishna is giving this knowledge. To know Krishna means you know everything. There is nothing more to be done. By knowing Krishna, you will know everything there is to be known. That is the message Krishna is giving. So here he talks about attachment, fear, and anger. So I will briefly tell you what is attachment. So attachment means attachment to matter, not attachment to Krishna. Attachment to matter, because Krishna is beyond matter. Attachment to Krishna is very good. But we have to become free from attachment, means attachment to the body and to the bodily relations or to our material wealth or material name and fame. This attachment we have to give up. So if you continue to work as a Sakama karma, then we cannot fully surrender to Krishna because of our attachment. Krishna says, to the extent you surrender, I reciprocate. But because of your attachments, you are not able to surrender to Krishna fully. So Krishna is also not reciprocating fully. Same way, when it comes to fear, what is fear? The ultimate fear is that, oh, because I am in this body, I am suffering a lot. And here you are teaching me that I am also eternal like Krishna. That means I will also have a body. You are saying it will be a spiritual body, free from any kind of suffering, but I don't believe it. When I am ultimately with Krishna, Krishna may give me some suffering also. Krishna may give me some trouble also. So why? No, I don't want any form. I want to merge with Krishna, or I want to merge with Brahma Jyoti. I don't want to have a form. So that is called fear. We should overcome that fear by understanding Krishna is our loving Father. Krishna created us only to have loving exchanges with us. So we should understand that Krishna is so pure. Even in this world, a father and mother will never hate their child. Of course, these days, something is totally wrong with this world. We get all kinds of news. But we can see any healthy father and mother will love their children. If that is the case, then what about Krishna, who is the father of all of us? He never gives up on us. So that fear should not be there. Thirdly, anger. What is anger? So many different philosophies are there. We don't know who is God. Somebody says God has no form. Somebody says Ganesh is God. Somebody says Shiva is God. Somebody says Durga is God. Somebody says, no, God has no form. Somebody says, I am God, you are God. So different philosophies, people become angry and they become atheist. So we have to give up all these three things, and then we can surrender to Krishna fully. No attachment, no fear, no anger. Then we are in a position to surrender to Krishna fully. When you surrender to Krishna fully, then you get Krishna Prema. Because when you know Krishna fully, Prema is the automatic result. So that is the thing. We will go to 11th shloka. Ye yata mam prapadyante tam sthaiva bhajamyaham mama vartamano vartante manushya partha sarvasa. So Krishna says, to the extent that you surrender, to that extent I will reciprocate with you. So, and he also says, everybody is walking on my path. So very, very important message. Everybody, whether you are a Hindu or Muslim or Christian or you are an atheist, Whether you are an Indian or American, or whether you are a karmi or a jnani or a bhakta, Krishna says, everybody is walking on my path only. Very interesting, right? Because everything is Krishna only. This material world is Krishna, spiritual world is Krishna, everything that exists is Krishna. So everybody is on his path. But you have to understand clearly that if you are attached to material things, then Krishna will come to you in the form of material things. Like you want a car, you will get a car. You want a bungalow, you will get a bungalow. So whatever material thing you are attached to, or you want a nice wife, you want a nice husband, you want to have nice children, you want to have a nice job, he will come in the form of all these things, but you will not get Krishna. Similarly, if you want to merge in Brahmajyoti, Krishna will come in the form of Brahmajyoti and he will allow you to merge. But if you want only Krishna, that is when he will come to you fully. So when does Krishna surrender to you completely? When you surrender to him completely. That is when the relationship becomes complete. At that point of time, the soul wants to serve Krishna and Krishna wants to serve the soul. You become a devotee of Krishna and Krishna becomes your devotee. This amazing relationship with Krishna is possible through bhakti. I will talk more detail in future classes, but allow me to pass on from here. So when you have pure knowledge of Krishna, that is called prema. At that point, you surrender and he surrenders back to you. And that is what Krishna means. This 11th sloka, please memorize. To the extent we surrender, Krishna will reciprocate with us. So this is the 11th sloka we have already discussed. As you surrender, so he reciprocates. So every soul is walking on the road to rejoin him. But should we go quickly or should we go slowly? That is the choice left to us. Best thing is we should go quickly. When so much happiness is waiting, why should we go slowly? So, 12th shloka. Kankshantah karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devatah kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities and therefore they worship demigods. Quickly, men get results from fruitive work in this world. So, we have already discussed about fruitive work, Sakama karma. I want to enjoy the results, so I do activities. So, what they do? Automatically, they go to the scripture, and the scripture says you worship Indra to have very good, strong body. You go to Ganesh to destroy all your obstacles. You go to Saraswati if you want a good education. Like that, different gods give different benefits for you. If you want to have good, beautiful wife, then you go and worship Durga Devi. Like that, different devatas will give you different benefits. The Vedas will guide you to that particular devata if you want material benefits. So what happens? People go to worship these demigods by following the process given in the scripture. What do they get? They get quick results also. But is it intelligent? You see in the picture here, whatever the devatas are giving at the time of death, everything will be taken away. Whatever the devatas give you will be taken away at the time of death. So how foolish. Actually, devatas themselves will die one day. So they cannot give you eternal benefit. So Krishna is telling it is not very wise. And here Prabhupada is giving the devatas and the human beings, how they are appearing like bubbles in the ocean. We are our appearance. One bubble, how long it will live? The devatas also like bubbles only. They come and go. So why should we worship the devatas? More details about devatas I will give in future sessions. But please understand, we are not demeaning the value of the devatas. We are not talking them as inferior. They are souls like us, but much more superior souls. By doing devotion to Krishna, they have been given the special position. So they are authorized to fulfill our prayers. But it is foolish on our part to ask for those material benefits as prayers. What we should pray? We should pray to the devata, please give me prema to Krishna. Please give me love of Krishna. That is what I want. So even if you worship the devatas, you should only ask for Krishna prema. 13th shloka, very important shloka. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashah tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyayam. So Krishna clearly says here, the 4 varnas they have been discussing, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You see in these pictures, in the center there is Krishna. Around him the 4 varnas are there. Krishna says they were created by me. based on the three modes of material nature: Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So all these four people have their own nature, which is arising from the three gunas. So these four categories of people are meant to perform four kinds of activities. By doing that, they will all make progress, spiritual progress. So Krishna has created this system, but Krishna says, but I am not affected by any of these things. Krishna is beyond the four varnas. So we should not think Krishna as a Vaishya or Krishna as a Kshatriya, etc. No, Krishna is non-material. He is completely spiritual. He doesn't undergo any change. So he doesn't work for anything. But all these four people are working for some improvement to become free from material world. So please understand that Varnashrama is coming from Krishna. We should never criticize the Varnashrama system. Even though today the system is practically destroyed because of bad government, but still the system is created by Krishna and it exists in a hidden way. It exists in a hidden way. 14th and 15th shlokas. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mam yo bijanati karma bhirna savadhyate evam nyatva kritam karma purvairapi mumukshubhi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram kritam. So Krishna is saying, whatever work I do, it does not affect me because he is not interested in the benefits at all, because he is not interested in the material world at all. Please understand, Krishna has no interest in this material world. What is his interest? His interest is in the souls, which are spiritual. They are not material. You and I, we are not material, we are spiritual. And Krishna's interest is only in the souls. He is trying to take us back to him. That is his only interest. In matter, no interest at all. I want money, I want promotion, I want respect. But Krishna has no such desire. Krishna wants to purify me and take me back. I have fallen into the gutter. Krishna wants to purify me and take me back to spiritual world. So whatever Krishna does, it does not bind him. He has no material desires at all. So Krishna says, if you understand why I come and how I work, you will also not be bound. How amazing. So jnana means to know Krishna like this. Once you know Krishna and you start worshipping Krishna, you will also become like him. Like him. You will not become Krishna. You will become like him. You will also not be bound by karma. And Krishna is saying in the 15th shloka, all the liberated souls, they work with this knowledge and they are never bound. So he is telling Arjuna, you should also follow them and you should come back to me like this. So Krishna is guiding from karma to the next stage of Jnana Yoga. Of course, we have just started. In the future sessions, we will see more about it. So what are the key learnings from this session? I will read them out. Supreme absolute truth is not a concept. Many of us have spiritual inclination, but most of us come to the conclusion, what is the supreme truth? It is only a concept, not a person. Scientists are also saying there is some supreme truth. No? Big Bang, why the Big Bang happened, what exploded, what originally existed, what ultimately will exist. They also discuss, but they never think about a person, a living person, as the supreme truth. But here we come to know there is an absolute truth. It is a person. Who is that person? Lord Sri Krishna. So absolute truth is Lord Sri Krishna. Simple. So from now onwards, when you read Bhagavad Gita, you try to know Krishna only. You don't have to know anything else. The whole book of Bhagavad Gita is what? Knowledge of Krishna. So don't look for some vague concept in Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, you look for Krishna. How Krishna is manifesting as spiritual world, how Krishna is manifesting as material world, why Krishna is creating this world and how he is creating it, and who am I, what is my connection with Krishna. Everything we should learn in terms of Krishna. Second point, by knowing Krishna well, what happens? We start loving him. By knowing Krishna well, we start loving him. Without knowing Krishna, we envy him. By knowing, we love him. Then we trust him and then we surrender to him. By loving him, trusting him, we surrender to him. First, we have to know him. That is what we are doing, jnana. Transcendental knowledge means knowledge of Krishna. By knowing him, we will surrender to him. And depending on the quality, intensity, and purity of my surrender, he will reward me. So I should try to have high quality, high intensity, high purity surrender to Krishna, and I will get Krishna as my reward. Next point, he can present himself to us in any form as material objects. If I want a car, he will come as a car. Or impersonal spiritual light, he will come as impersonal spiritual light. Or as the most adorable spiritual person, that is Krishna, he can come to me as Krishna also. Then next point, that is the real truth. Krishna, spiritual person, is the real truth. The most intelligent, most fortunate spiritual seeker accepts him as Lord Krishna. And who is Krishna? The reservoir of all happiness and all attraction. That is Krishna. Krishna contains all attraction and all happiness. So if you are lucky, you become attracted to him. And then he gives you all happiness. Attaining him, accepting him as eternal master, as the object of my loving service, I achieve perfection. How to achieve perfection? By accepting Krishna as my eternal master and as the object of my loving service. I should start serving him. Then I become completely happy, completely satisfied eternally. And how to worship him in this age of Kali? We have all taken birth in this age of Kali. How to worship him? By calling out the holy names. Please join with me. Let us chant the holy name 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We should chant like a lost child, the child that has lost its parent. In that mood, we should chant, and that way we will get the mercy of Krishna. Thank you very much. So you can ask your doubts now. Hare Krishna. We have just started Jnana Yoga, the first 15 shlokas. Next 2 sessions we will complete this chapter. But you have now come to 4th chapter, and a lot of knowledge you have already collected. What you are going to do with this knowledge is something that you all have to decide. One thing is daily you start chanting. 1 mala in the morning, 1 mala at night, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then instead of good morning, Hare Krishna. Instead of good night, Hare Krishna. Good day, Hare Krishna. See you, Hare Krishna. How are you, Hare Krishna. I am fine, Hare Krishna. You try to. Hare Krishna means everything. So you can just say Hare Krishna for everything. Try to say Hare Krishna as many times as possible in your day. And minimum 2 rounds of the Mahamantra you chant. And try to eat prasadam. We have already discussed that. You cook for Krishna. You offer to Krishna. And after it is accepted by Krishna, it becomes prasadam. It is permeated by Krishna's mercy. That is the meaning of prasadam. Prasadam means mercy. Prasadam means mercy. So that prasadam you should take. As much as possible, try to eat only prasadam. Only prasadam. So only prasadam means no onion, no garlic, no meat, no coffee, no tea. To the extent possible, start implementing it now. And pray to Krishna. Krishna, I want to become a pure devotee. Help me to implement all these things in my life. No hurry. Don't give up Krishna. No, I cannot give up coffee and tea. I will give up Krishna. Don't do that. You can carry on with your coffee and tea. You can carry on with your meat eating. Fine. Don't give up Krishna. That is not an option. Whatever you cannot give up, hold on. Krishna will gradually help you to give up all these things. You develop attachment to Krishna, and then detachment Krishna will take care. But remember, as long as I am attached to material things, I cannot attach to Krishna fully, correct? Bible also, Jesus Christ says like that. Love your God, your Father, with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul. He says, love God, that is Bible. And that is what Bhagavad Gita is saying, no difference. Why the religions are fighting? No teaching. How many of you knew Bhagavad Gita before you came to this class? Or how many of you understood Gita the way I am teaching you? I am coming in the parampara system, so It is not anything original. What Krishna taught to Arjun, it's coming down in parampara. I am simply passing on to you. In that sense, I am only a postman, passing it on to you. But see how much knowledge is available to us through the parampara. Without this knowledge, we are covered in ignorance. So what happens when ignorance comes? It divides people. You are a Brahmana, you are a Kshatriya, you are a Vaishya, you are a Shudra, you are a Hindu, you are Muslim, you are Indian, you are American. Ignorance divides people into so many groups and they fight. But knowledge begins to unite. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Sunichena Swabhakaicha Pandita Samadarshina. A truly intelligent person sees Krishna in everyone, in everything. Unites everything. United Nations, Prabhupada said, is possible only in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was passing by United Nations. He saw so many flags, hundreds of flags. Prabhupada said, what is United Nations? There should be a single flag. Then the nations are united. But every time I pass this side, more flags are sprouting. So you are dividing. Prabhupada had an amazing vision. Very, very piercing vision he used to have. So thank you. Unless there are any more questions, we will close the session for the day. Thank you very much for joining. Please try to practice whatever we have learned here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
This is
Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhuji. Instead of thank you, I said Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Now Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I am taking leave.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Tanda
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Tanda
Thank you
Hare
for that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat.